Hello, dear friends. I am joined apparently by the dog of wisdom. Welcome to QuestJunkies. It is Monday night, which means it is time for the Rhódania Chronicles with the Wyld Ones. Hi, guys. Oh, what's happening there with the cameras?
Yeah.
What is happening with those pesky cameras?
Well,
Oh, there we go. That's a little better. Oh, 100%. Welcome. It is so good to see you all. We are here to tell you some stories, and just before we get into our little recap for you all, let's go around the table and figure out why my camera is also shrunk, which I didn't notice. Friends, please introduce yourself and tell us who you're going to be playing as.
Realize how small you are.
Yeah, I'm a teeny
I'm
tiny.
so sorry.
Hi, go first.
Hi, I'm Maya, aka Maya the Pirate. Tonight I'll be playing Rhódania, our Circle of Stars, Feelies, Druid, Artificer, Wild Brew Extraordinaire.
Amazing. Mike!
Hi friends, I'm Mike. I play your second favorite small boy, Wes. Alchemist Artificer.
And Bridget.
Hello everyone, I'm Bridget. I play Frank, the Way of the Long Death, Shatterkai, Pocket Goth Mommy. Frank.
And I'm Pat, the ever humble Dungeon Master who plays everybody else. And so, you will see through the chat periodically there are little messages and things scrolling by to all of our friends and things that we'd like to prog. Things we like to prog. I can't talk apparently. But here is links to all of our wonderful players for tonight's session. Unfortunately, our dear friend Wyatt is not able to be with us this week, but we send him all the love in the world, and we can't wait to see him next week. So, dear friends, as we return to the shores of Rhódania, let's just quickly touch base with where we left things off last time. As the group had said their farewells to Connell, who is undertaking a mission of sorts in the Shadowfell, assisting Frike's brother in secret. They wanted a shopping day, and that was the plan. And for some of the group, things went to plan. They were looking to do some, pull in some extra resources. They went to go find Captain Madeline Crowley, captain of the Discourteous Rose, Rhódania's #1 Skycarver vessel, which just happened to be docked in the city still, as it was undertaking some upgrades. They spoke about their intentions, journeying north to the frozen wastes, wishing to reach the citadel of the Morrigan-Arth, somewhere which has proven to be very, very challenging for many forms of travel. But Madeline loves a challenge, and you knew that, which is why you presented the opportunity for her to be once again the first to achieve something great. And she loves it when people tell her something's impossible, because she's all about proving them wrong. And with that, you returned with the intention of touching base with the group and formulating a plan. You have a few days until the Skycarver is ready for the journey, as it plots its course and finishes its upgrades. But when you came back to the house, Rhódania and Frike, something was off. It was just a tiny little thing. An entire portion of the house was missing. It seems Wes, who had stayed behind to work on some sort of project in secret, had a little bit of a mishap. He was trying to think with portals. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go so well. As the next thing that Wes realized after a flash of light was that he found himself floating gently in the remains of the workshop as it, again, gently floats in the astral sea. Very much a teleportation or portal gone severely wrong. Thankfully, a pocket of the atmosphere had also been brought with you, so you didn't suffocate and die immediately. And then you were approached by a ship, a very curious ship, as it didn't look like a Skyhaver. It just looked like a pirate ship. Like something you would see on the shores of some shantytown in Rhódania. And its sole occupant, a female-like, bug-like figure, who eventually, after some conversation, had introduced herself as Bastia Batu, one of our players from our previous campaign, nonetheless. Big love to Marin. We miss you. Come back soon. Bastia had been stranded for the last 8 years, bereft of some of her memory, but believing she was there for a purpose, which she was for a time. And after some rather emotional heart-to-hearts with Wes, they formulated an absolutely crazy plan to return back to the material plane, involving jumping into a bag of holding and activating an ancient portal device, and having the stones to roll crits. It was successful. So they found themselves back in Rhódania, back in Zundanark nonetheless, and after parting ways, as Bastia had 8 years to catch up on. Thank you for the subscription! After 8 years, not knowing the fate of her companions and the world that she left behind, she had some catching up to do. So Wes returned home, much to the scorn of his friends, as they were now bereft of a workshop and a supporting structure of the house, which, when we rolled for it, is just barely holding its own weight. And after some tense conversation and some calming down to some extent, the group decided, oh, we've got a few days. Let's get started on the preparations. The first stop is where we left off, as Wes, not just bereft of a workshop, but most of his clothing, felt the urge to go see a tailor, a renowned tailor, who goes by the name Taylor. So we rejoin our friends as they have stepped inside Taylor's, and he has turned around and said, "Hello, darlings." Oh, that's the wrong sound.
That's ominous. Welcome.
Wait a minute.
That is absolutely the wrong sound set.
This is Love It's Tailoring.
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually. Go in there as old Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Customer.
I forgot that
Please don't get me into Sweeney. I could be singing it all night.
I forgot
Hell
that
yeah.
I had rearranged some of these sound sets.
Oh, sexy.
We'll take one from Vampire the Masquerade because it was fun.
Hey.
And it fits the vibe.
Welcome to the Sexy Tailors.
Hello,
So back this
darlings. Welcome to Tailors. How may I clothe you?
Oh god, I'm getting a stereo on vibes. Ick. I'm sorry.
It's funny you say that because when this figure turns around and you look at them, you see this silvery, greased back hair that's a little messy and a fluffy, frilly collar on this very expensive padded leather sort of jumpsuit. Very garish and colourful. Pale skin. Deep red eyes and a curious smile.
Bright flushes.
Starts sort of wandering over to you all. Eyes immediately locked on Wes, who... Wes, remind us, how does Wes look right now?
So imagine, instead of the normal attire you might have seen from the wonderful Pat Toons art, his entire outfit is ribbons. And he's still got the nice little astral scars from his trip. And I think as Taylor approaches, how can you clothe us fully? I know it's a little early. Is my order ready, by chance?
Well, you'll have to remind me. What name was this order under? And may I say, you have some balls to come into my store like this. And I know this because of the audacity and the fact that I can see them.
Feroni is going to take her cloak off and cover Wes, much to her chagrin.
Well, no,
maybe you should stop peeping.
That's like waving a flag at a bull.
Does Wes, with all that, does he still wear the cape that was given to him by Bastia? Because that's pristine.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's still the Cape of the Montablanc is still on him, but I think it's because of like the shape of it. It still kind of exposes the front.
Okay.
So while he tries to cover himself, like a loincloth. Well, a couple days ago, you remember me, the guy with the gravy ring in his mouth who was kind of just trying to bark orders. Then I had to write everything down because, he couldn't understand me. He said, "Darling, I would be more than happy to fill your plates." And unfortunately, it seems you've already been satiated. And I had to write down that order for you. Yeah, so it was... Do you remember the coat that I ordered? It was black with like the little golden vines sort of design on the front of it with the big buttons. It almost looked like a buccaneer coat, a privateer coat.
Oh, I remembered straight away. I just wanted an excuse to hear you ramble on. It's rather adorable, I must say. And, if I may be so bold, gesturing over to Feronia after that little sort of snap back from her, you are a ferocious kitty, and I'm curious, do the claws match the appetite for verbal destruction, as it were?
With that, just gonna pull out a bit of primal savagery as my claws come out and said,
They don't call me Feronia the Ferocious for nothing.
They call you that?
Shut up.
a little bit of acid just pops from her claw and she says it to Frank.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. Well, yes, I have your coat. I'll be right back, but I feel like you might need to expand your order somewhat. This, I mean, it's fine. It's a summer's day, but when it gets cold, you might find a bit of a shiver to your spine. I'll be right back. And turns around and goes into the back, leaving the three of you on your own for a minute or two.
The smarmy gets. Yeah.
Frike is blushing and just kind of wordlessly searches through, like, clothing in the store, looking for, what she's imagining.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me.
Okay. Yeah, that was a 6.
6.
Ooh.
Okay. Describe to us what it is you are looking for, so we can get a better
I have
idea.
a description. Let me find it.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Okay. I'm picturing. Fun fact: it's exceedingly difficult trying to describe a monk outfit, but what I had in mind, a sleeveless romper. So we're kind of like going with the shorts concept that we explored from Wes and the makeover. But essentially, yes, a sleeveless romper that is shorts length, and some different sandals as well, plus a weapons belt that would hang over her hips to carry her weapons with.
Amazing. Okay. So you spend the next couple of minutes while he's out of the room looking through, and you don't find any sort of fighting clothes in any way, shape, or form, as this is clearly an establishment that's aimed at a particular clientele.
What do I find instead?
Well, you find lots of fancy stuff, like ball gowns and things like that. If you'd have rolled very high, I might have given you some slightly different attire.
Because, I mean, monk outfits to me are a blend of comfort and efficiency, and I guess with Frike they tend to just be a little bit more scantily clad, so anything like that would
Just yoga
probably...
pants then.
Yeah, yeah, essentially. I mean...
Then again, I can't imagine Frike fighting in a ball gown. That would just be amazing, though, in a way as well.
She'd probably rip it to shreds just to be
Yeah.
able to move around. She needs room in her clothes for activities.
I'll say with the 6, just like buried under a bunch of really fancy stuff, you do find a pair of assless chaps.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you get with the 6.
She just kind of like holds them up and stares at them.
Wes, how do you react when you see Frike holding up a pair of assless chaps as you're waiting for some clothing?
Frank, what are your intentions with Connell?
All right, Daddy.
What? She'll put the chaps down and just, I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. It's kind of up in the air, and he's gone, with my brother, and I don't know.
I think they have what people would call a situation ship. So they're just packing.
What is a ship? I mean, we flew on a ship, but a situation ship? Is that a sky carver?
No, it's like you're on a ship, you're best mates, and you're in a situation together, and things happen, but not really. They just happen. I don't know anything about romance. You know this. I just fuck about.
Well, neither do I. Not really. I mean, there was this time, kind of, but it's not really a thing anymore. She'll, like, just devolve into ramblings that go higher and higher pitch.
At this point, you'll notice that Taylor has returned and has, like, just spent the last minute or so just, like, leant up against the counter with this box underneath, just like, oh no, please continue. This is a rather fascinating conversation. Do tell me more. I've been in many a situation, let me tell you, and they always end up fucking terrible. But sometimes it's about the fun on the journey, isn't it?
Yeah, I can imagine them being fucking terrible with you about. I mean, what?
Sorry, this is Meyer bleeding into hysteria now. This is it triggering me.
Yeah, I can't keep a straight face right now. That's me bleeding into Frank.
I merely come here to provide things that have been purchased for your friends, and you insult me, the great Astarian Taylor.
Oh, fuck off.
You made it canon, not me.
Man. Oh,
You know,
man.
I had a life before this, you know. I was a name known across countless places. And then there was that convergence event, and I ended up in this stupid bloody place. I had a purpose back home. I had a life, adventure, women, men, sometimes wild-shaped bears, you name it. I had it all. And for what? To come here and serve paltry clothing to paltry people like yourself?
I'm so glad I got a fan on right now.
Same.
Oh. Jesus Christ, man.
He takes a heavy breath and sighs like, apologies, I have a lot of pent-up aggravation. Excuse
I'm
me.
guessing it's been a while then, friend.
Oh no, it's been about 15 minutes specifically, but,
What were you doing back there?
well, I just want to kiss and tell.
Shut up, fanfic brain.
And there's the gif.
The crossover we didn't know we needed.
Oh god, yeah.
She's
Guys,
become a
go on
monster.
Steam.
She's
Go on Steam and
autistic.
check out Baldur's Gate 3.
So much fun. Not sponsored.
Unless you
Hashtag
know
not
my acronym,
sponsored.
You can't for another month. And then welcome to my world. She might, like, I guess just ask the question out loud. Like, she's trying to ask something to the effect of, like, what do you do when you like someone, but you haven't really talked about it, and then you like someone else, and you haven't really talked about it, but it's gonna come out as, you ever have a dream when...
Oh,
Love it.
baby
Love it so
girl.
much.
Baby girl.
I don't know, just for the hell
I
of it.
cast guidance.
Yeah, just for. Well, we can make use of that. Go ahead and give me a performance check to see if you can actually get the sentence out so it's understandable. You have a D4 of guidance.
I want it to be like
God
an
knows I've
Oh
used
my
it
God.
that in Baldur's
Okay.
Gate recently.
Oh. Okay, so with the D4 of guidance, that's a 4, and I rolled a 2 on the 20, so that's a 6.
Oh.
Yay.
Another 6.
Oh.
666.
It might be something about the accent. It's a thing with Frank and accents, but she's blushing and going, when ever dream, when you.
Oh, this is precious. Huh. I can tell you're trying to commune something to me, but I do have this effect on people. I can't help it. You know, all these years and I haven't lost my flair.
Don't work on me, pal.
She's like stammering, looking at
I'm
Veronica,
good.
like, what is happening? What is happening? Ooh,
Oh,
raid.
we are being raided. Hello, raiders. Welcome on in.
Friends.
Our
Hell
group
yeah.
of adventurers have just walked into a tailor who appears to be potentially some sort of character from Baldur's Gate 3, maybe? I don't know. It's a bit of a strange
Accidentally.
crossover.
I guess if she can get the words out long enough to describe what she's looking for, like a blend of comfort and efficiency, room in her clothes for activities, probably not super covered up, so maybe something within reason, scantily clad, she might describe that to like what she's looking for as far as an outfit.
Okay.
So assless chaps.
Yes. Well, that's where it starts,
damn it.
clearly. You build up from there. No, okay. Let me see here. I don't have anything to hand, but you are you from Zundanag? Are you staying here, or are you just passing through? What's the situation there? You're talking about situations.
Maybe you've heard of us. We're the Wyld Ones. We're part of the. Our
Zundanag.
Our faces are on a lot of posters outside.
Do you know who we are?
Actually,
Do you know who we are?
I have a character sheet. Hang on, let me just check this.
Oh,
Three
God.
cards
with the
Of course
correct-
you
to the
do.
tailors. I like to think that while this conversation's going on, Feronia is just kind of like rifling through anything that looks like it's got stars on it, just trying to find some.
Go ahead and make me an
thing.
investigation check.
Okay, doke. Investigation. That'll be a 16, please.
16. Okay. You find that like there's a few things like there's some shawls that have some stars on. There's a sort of multicolored dress that has quite a high hemline. That has like sequins that are made to look like stars embedded into it.
Are there any like sweaters, jumpers, cardigans, anything like that, or anything that is
No
got any
sweaters or
magical
jumpers.
effects?
There's kind of like a really nice cardigan type of top. It's kind of like a deep cerulean blue, but again, it has like sequins laid into it so that it resembles stars somewhat.
Oh my god, this sounds adorable. Is it magical? That's the question. Is it a magical cardigan? Does it have magical effects? Or is it just pretty?
That would be something to investigate further with something like a detect magic.
I mean, I
Uh,
can identify if you need it.
potentially. I mean, I don't have detect magic. I do have detect magic.
Ooh.
Prepared.
To follow up on
Sorry, you guys are doing a thing. She's literally
No,
just
no.
bawing and drooling over this star cardigan.
It's all good.
cardigan.
Then we'll get to me. Sorry.
It's I rolled for him to see if he knew who you were, and he got a 21. So, you were the people from that tournament, were you not? I didn't go. Like it's my day off. You know, it's not often I venture out of the shop. I mean, it's a big old world out there. It's not quite ready for a Starian tailor, you know.
Sorry.
Give it a few more years, maybe.
That's fair. It went really sideways toward the end there, but we managed all right.
Story of my life, darling. Story of my life.
So, do you think you more of the when you went? Could you create something for me? I get. How much would you want? She might reach into her bag for gold and then like pull out the letter from Connell and then put it back by mistake.
Okay. Just one moment. You've you described what you want. Let me see if I've got it in my mind correctly. And he begins like moving his hands around, and he casts minor illusion and shows the exact kind of outfit that you have asked for. Does this look okay? Any adjustments? Do you feel a bit tighter on the waist, maybe, or a bit lower cuts? You know, you tell me.
I need room for my hips, saying as if it's a secret that she's low-key thick.
Oh, there's nothing
but
low-key about that. Believe me, I can tell.
Blush. Yeah, I think that's all right. How much gold?
I'm going to say that something like that will cost. I'll tell you what. It is rather adorable that you keep tripping over the alphabet every time you open your mouth, so I'll do this for. Let's call it 4 gold pieces.
Okay. She probably drops a coin or two as she reaches in for the money and hands it to Asterion.
Please allow me. And he goes to pick up the coins, and because it's Asterion, he's going to roll sleight of hand to see if he can pinch them.
Yes.
What's your passive perception?
15.
15. Yeah. He hands you back all the coins that you think you dropped.
Well, thank you. And how long will this take?
Not particularly long. This time tomorrow, maybe.
Okay. Thank you again.
Yes. And but to you, Mr. Revealing. Yes. 2 gold, I believe, was the agreed price for the jacket. Yes.
It was, and you know, your generosity to my friends has sparked an idea for me. And so, as you know, we are the Wyld Ones, and in fact, you have just done business with the savior of the tournament, Miss Frike over here. And who wouldn't want to be the very tailor who inspired the new designs of the Wyld Ones? If you can do my friends a favor by providing a nice little discount for any present and future endeavors in your shop, I will promise to record a full message with all of us, which provides an endorsement of your shop.
Make a persuasion check.
Did we just start a Cameo page?
Perhaps.
Amazing.
Holy shit!
That was either a nat 1 or a nat 20 there.
No, it's going in pictures. It's going in the group pictures. That was a full nat 20.
Oh my
Nat
god.
20. Okay.
Oh,
Hell yeah. Folks,
I love you, man.
if you've got some tasty nat 20 emotes, please do stick them in the chat.
yeah. Nom nom.
Nom, nom.
So, so you see his eyes go wide, and you really see the red glint in his irises. In fact, give me a quick perception check, Wes, since you're right up close.
I had 9.
A 9. You're not entirely sure, as his piercing gaze is very distracting, but you could have swore he had fangs for a split second. As he sort of leans into you and goes, "Oh, so you're proposing that spreading the good name of the good man that is myself across the lands will gain me more notoriety and popularity and, well, many a great boon, perhaps. I see where you're going with this. And I like it. I like it a lot, in fact. Perhaps I was wrong about you.
Listen, darling, you've already provided my new favorite tailor in all of Rhódania, who's to say the next group of big heroes won't stop by your shop and feel the same exact way. And what better way to spread the word early than with a little advertisement? By the way, this is in partnership with the creator of the Wyld Brew, points over at Feronia, who, by the way, was the almost official sponsor of the Zundanog tournament. So you're in cahoots with some of the best up-and-coming entrepreneurs on the continent.
Well,
Not so sure about her, but I like what you've got, so...
you.
What? I call it like I see it. You come in here and you offend me straight away.
Your demeanor offends me. You're so ick. But you're a businessman after all. Most businessmen are kind of icky.
Right. Let's get one thing straight, and walks over to Feronia. Like, just palms the box over to Wes. Walks over to Feronia and gets down, like, his elbows on his knees, crouches in front of you to get, like, eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got off on a wrong start. Why don't we try again? Maybe a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I should not have been playing any boulders before this. Oh, okay, that'll be a 24.
Whew!
I got a +7.
Hey.
Nice. You're no strange. Like, you have seen people such as Reese utilizing the charming side of magic. This bitch was clearly trying to charm you just now.
And with that, I'm just gonna go and kind of bare my fangs at him. Just kind of hiss a bit.
Don't you try and charm me, mister. I eat charming people for breakfast.
Oh, actually, you know what? This works better. I'm kind of into this a bit more. Okay.
God damn it. I'd like to add that Frike is unsubtly peeking from behind a clothing rack, like, as this
Let Myra
happens.
roll a wisdom saving throw.
Can certainly try.
Look, I just want to get some nice, shiny, and pretty things, alright? I don't want to start some sort of, like, will they, won't they, love-hate relationship sort of thing going on, alright?
Oh, I've done plenty of that in my time, believe me. I wouldn't recommend
My
it. Just...
my ex was like that, so, no.
Really?
Sirens, you know what they're like, so.
Joe, I never had a siren. That's going on the list.
Oh, they're fun, but they're...
I bet. But I was
Bitchy.
wrong about you, actually. You've... okay. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a cat by its fur, I suppose. Or its claws. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, 2 gold for the coat.
The 2 gold. There is something I'd like to do. Why don't you take care of them? But if you don't mind, I'd like to use one of your mannequins. Real quick.
For what purpose?
Special modifications.
I don't know if
Where's
that's
it because
better or
it's the
worse.
the time and
What's
place for it,
happening?
Wes.
Sure, it's probably not the worst thing that's happened to them. Be my guest.
Oh no.
Cool. We'll hand the 2 gold over. We'll put in a 3rd point of gold just for the teasing of Feronia. Go to the mannequin, and we can roleplay this later or not. I want to mend the cape of the Monteblanc into the coat, so that way it becomes the coat of the Monteblanc.
Interesting. Okay.
So it'd be like inlaid on the inside.
Okay, I'm into that. So you can take
Can
some time
you
to
say
do
that
that.
again? Coat of Montalban?
Slower.
Because I swear last week I heard Coat of Montalban, like Ricardo Montalban.
No, it's Montibon.
Oh,
Montalban.
can you spell that in chat, please?
Montalban. Sorry, it's just really fun to say. Montalban.
It is a very useful magical item.
Thank you.
But yeah, absolutely, we can say that you do that. So, furry one, you have
Hi.
one of our finest cardigans there. That's something you have been perusing.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like touches the materials to see if like she likes it. 'Cause a bit like me, I'm very much like I have to touch the material to see if it likes it. I'm gonna cast detect magic to see if there's
Okay.
any sort of like magical properties with it. Okay.
Cast.
Okay, you cast
Then-
detect magic. The first thing you notice is the glimpses of the magic from his previous minor illusion leaving his hand. There's some spots on him that appear to be magical. He's obviously carrying some sort of magical items. None of the clothes in the store seem overtly magical.
Ah, fuck. See, Mr. Taylor, staring. This cardigan's lovely, but I was kind of wanting to look for something that not only looks, fascinating and, pretty looking, and got stars on it, but also something that's functional. Because I want some protection, but also I want to fucking slay and look cool when I wear it. Because I'm all starry and shit. Plus, I'm a princess, so I kind of want to look good and comfy. I need to check all the boxes. Do you have anything like that?
That is a lot of boxes to tick.
I'm high maintenance, so.
Oh, I'm very, very sure of that.
I was being sarcastic, but okay.
Well, you do you. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I sell clothes. There's a lot of debaucherous people in this world, and I sell clothes to them. That's my business. I don't quite know how your friend found his way here, but there we go. Like, if you want something that magically protects or something like that, it's not my place, I'm afraid. If you want some armor, then an armor is your best bet. I deal in sexy clothing.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'll get that cute fucking cardigan, and not necessarily sexy, but something that.
And then just kind of like pulls this.
Everyone thinks I'm just really adorable, or just doesn't really notice me. I mean, I used to get all the attention back in the forest, but slim pickings. I want to wear something really pretty, and don't let anyone else know. They'll take the piss out of me. But like, I want to look nice and not cute, if you know what I mean. Like, I want mature, but also like, oh wow, look at her. I never noticed her before like that. Wow. I don't want to be the cute and feisty one. I want to.
I feel like this is like her Disney Channel star moment turning into like a sexy pose. I'm just coming into my head right now is what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want something that like doesn't make you look assuming.
So you present
I'll
quite a
I'll
challenge.
get this cardigan because it's fucking cute anyway. So.
Well, of course, we can happily integrate the cardigan, but such a look is a challenge. And Astarion Taylor is never one to back down for a challenge.
Thing.
And she just kind of puts her paws up, showing the gloves. Like,
Do you know anything about gloves that don't come off you? Because you seem to know about taking things off people, including their money.
Believe me, That's my specialty. Gloves that don't come off. They sound incredibly useful, I must say, but I have heard of certain garments that are... I mean, it's not my expertise, certainly, but it's certain types of garments where once put on, they seem to be unable to be removed. It's some magical means, whether it be, I don't know if curse is the right word, or just it is a spell that's ingrained into the fabric of the material. It's fun for the right reasons, but if, everyone needs a safe word. So you're stuck in those little mittens, are you?
I'm a kitten in mittens. With fingers.
Are
for my paws.
indeed.
It's fine. It's just they're a bit boring now, and they don't get dirty or anything. They're not battered, but it's just kind of miss my showing my beans off, But it's fine if you don't know anything. It's okay.
This is Patch just checking something real quick because he did roll super high. What's everyone else doing while this is happening?
I think at the mention of the word sexy clothing, Frank might try searching through the racks one more time.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
It's a 9.
A
9.
9. You find the removed ass part of the assless chaps.
God.
Which has just been put on like a little strap.
Not quite what I had in mind, but... Okay.
Okay,
It's basically like an Ann Summers. Is there like an Ann Summers section in this place, I'm guessing, if it's a Stereon?
it's essentially the whole thing is an Ann Summers.
Holy fuck, dude. What?
Wes, what you doing? Buying things from like sexy places. I didn't think you were like this. I think what the
just
back's
from-
like.
It's interesting because you don't see Wes, but you hear Wes.
Oh.
Honestly, he was kind of cute, and I really wanted to see his business.
Oh,
You're
fuck.
not wrong.
You flash
don't
me
see it.
like that and you'll get more than a discount, friend.
Post office mine.
Oh,
Didn't say that. Didn't say that.
oh
No.
that was some spilled tea, wasn't it?
No,
You don't have gift of
wait,
gab, do
Wait,
you?
no, yeah, that's what Reese does. Gift the gap.
You don't have it, but you're just...
Shit.
Well, well, well. Aren't we all full of secrets? Don't worry,
No, I mean,
I've already said I don't kiss and tell.
No, he's just my workshop mate. We make things.
I'm sure
my
you
business
could
partner.
make things. You could make many things.
The fanfic episode.
He doesn't want it.
While you recover from this terrifying ordeal that you've just put yourself through, I believe your mittens are somewhat cursed, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
You would need magic that is able to remove such a thing, if it is somewhere available to you. Magic is not my expertise, but I'm sure there's someone out there in this big old world that could help you remove said mittens.
I don't want to know who fucking put them on me in the first place, Like, I just woke up with them on. Try to think how pale my paws are under there.
Definitely need a manicure.
It's fine. The claws still come out.
Oh, yes. Quite useful. Give me some ideas. Anyway, well, beside the point.
But yeah, you got anything like that I asked for?
Give me a couple of days, much like your friend there, and I'm sure I can pull something together.
Okay. Just nothing too distasteful, you know.
You want to be elegant.
Yeah, elegant and fanciful, and fancy.
Regal, like
And-
royalty.
No.
No?
No, I don't want ballroom kind of shit.
Lace? Leather?
No.
So about leather.
This is turning
Oh,
into
no.
quite an afternoon.
And here's me thinking Rhódania was safe and not.
Oh, we are wild ones.
Oh, my brain.
Yeah, we are. Same. The entire time. This is the fanfic episode.
Yep.
Save me now, mummy.
All right. Well, I'm gonna buy this cardigan for now. Then, how much do I owe you?
You know,
Pardon me.
excuse you. Just go ahead and give me a quick persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Yes, you have advantage.
Mhm.
Cool. So
As per your persuasion.
17.
17, very good. You know, people say a lot of things about me, but I am a sucker for romance. I'll let you have it on one condition.
Oh no. What?
When the time comes and the moment is prepared for, looks back to the back room where Wes has gone through. You take all of him.
What do you mean?
I'll let you find out.
Very confused.
We're all confused at some point, but
Okay. Thank you for the cardigan.
Farewell.
Here, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
And she's just gonna like head. I'm guessing, is this like a little upstairs bit that we're in, and then it's like downstairs and back, out back, like a little balcony bit. This is what I imagined, like a little mezzanine that's in the shop. I don't know why.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, ball cunt.
Bree!
My God.
Bree, thank you so
What is
much.
happening? Oh my-
25 gifts. You already do so much. Bree.
Bree, you need to knock this off. This is too
God
kind.
damn it.
You've already achieved goat status. I don't know if you can get any higher than that, but you're knocking on the door.
God damn it. Everyone, please go give Bree some love. Bree is our
Bree just
wonderful
wants-
dungeon mistress from Friday's Stradalicious campaign. Ugh. Thank
I
you.
think Bree just wants to see the filth.
I mean, clearly
Bree,
there's a
Bree.
market for it. But yes,
QuestJunkies
thank
after
you.
dark, definitely.
I mean,
Um,
that has put us at the moment at 152 concurrent subscribers,
Holy
Oh
crap.
my God.
which, you know, it won't stay that number because it never does, but that's still amazing. Thank you so much. Truly, truly incredible. Yes, please, muffins in the chat for Brie. All the muffins. Ah. Okay, so I imagine it as being like there is a balcony area, but you guys are all down in the main section. The balcony area is kind of like one of the back areas for staff only.
Okay.
And there's like a little changing room ahead of you, which is where Wes has
Where
gone
Wes is.
to
Okay, cool.
make his modifications and such. So that's kind of how I imagine it. So eventually, Wes, roll me a quick dexterity check.
Just X?
Yeah. Do you have like tailor's tools or anything like that? Any kind of tools?
I have the magic all-purpose tool, so I could
Then-
make it hypothetically.
Yeah, so you can add your proficiency bonus to that as well.
Yeah, but I was also going to do it with like mending, the cantrip mending. So
So with that, I'll give you advantage.
Oh, well. Just a dex would be 17.
17. Okay, I'd say with a 17, you successfully blend the two garments together.
So I think as all the horniness is going on outside of the changing room, Wes kind of steps out, but you hear boots, like heavy boots that he did not have before. And as he comes out fully dressed, you see that the jumper leather combo is gone. It's a tunic. The studded leather armor is underneath the jacket, which now has a very prominent red hood from the cloak of the Mont Blanc. His jeans, which old denish pants, are distinctly ripped, like skinny rocker jeans.
Oh no.
Black boots, almost like Doc Martens.
Elbow for
Oh,
me
you're
a
an
little
old
bit.
boy.
Elbow.
Oh no. Old
You see
boy.
the red handkerchief tied around, kind of like a bandana on his head with the goggles there, and he walks out with the coat. Did I miss the horny already? Shoot.
No, I think it just arrived.
I
to
think
Elbow
it
Ferrania.
just pulled into the station. Welcome back.
Fernie is just speechless, just kind of going like. No, sorry, that was Andrew getting me painkillers.
I thought.
Okay,
I thought.
she mutters that as well. Like, thank you.
I thought that was
Elbows
Feronia. I thought that was Feronia going to Starry and going, "Oh yeah, I will. I totally."
You ever have a dream when you went?
That you. So, did you guys pick out everything you want? Did you get those assless chaps?
No, I wanted something different than that, but I couldn't find anything.
We can still get the assless chaps. If you want to throw it on Connell, I'm more than happy to treat you.
That possibility didn't even occur to her. Her eyes go wide for like a solid minute. But no, short circuiting.
Nudges a Frike just to try and help him reboot her.
No, maybe we come back later. I don't know. Did you guys get a
Cast
letter?
guidance.
I have a letter. She's like, yeah, I need some air. She'll step outside of the shop.
So, where is this? Is a whole new style. Is that so you look nice the next time Rosie sees you, or what?
I mean, honestly, I was quite inspired by our dear friend here. You know, I assumed if we were going away on a nice big trip to the Arctic that I would look the part. I'm not really sure where Morganoth is, but it appears to be cold, and I figured I might as well look a little more dapper when we inevitably run into danger. And who knows? If I ever run out into the Astral Sea again, at least I'll look like a proper pirate.
It looks good on you. You look very, very handsome.
There's a little finger gun.
Oh.
So, what did you end up getting for Onion?
Takes a big old swig.
Thirsty.
Yeah.
I got this like really nice cardigan. It's nice fluffy. It's got, you can see all the stars and stuff on it, which is really pretty. And then yeah, I'm getting something done up, custom done for me. We'll see how it looks. Yeah.
Well, you should treat yourself. Not that you need it. You already have the looks, but if you really want to give yourself a little accessorizing, then he'll take care of you.
What do you mean? I don't have any looks, but
So
yeah.
at this point, a voice from one of the back rooms calls out, Starion, we're waiting. As he says, it's time for a bit of lunch. Shut the door on your way out, if you'd be so kind, and flip the sign. As he darts off back into behind the curtain, then pops his head back out, and you see that there are a pair of fangs. I'm going to be predisposed for quite some time. And ducks back in.
Well, it's I've heard a lunch break, but bloody hell.
Took a real bite out of it, didn't he?
Yeah, just a wee nibble. Right, so where are we going to next? I was looking for stuff to protect me in there, but it seems like they only had other kinds of protection in there. So I don't. Can we find somewhere I can protect me? Are there any blacksmithy places around here?
You would know that there is the place where
So she's very like still kind of like
flummoxed.
the hornies in her head right now.
Can I add, because of that, Frike will have stepped outside for some air, and she will open the letter from Connell and start reading it.
Okay, please tell us what it says. 'Cause I don't know.
Oh goodness! I opened it. It's kind of long. Okay. Frike, with a heavy heart, I must leave you all once again. But you must know this is a good cause. I'm fighting a good fight where I am. I'm making a difference here. I can feel it. While I'm away, I'm getting stronger. I must request that you all get stronger too. We will have a difficult time going against the odds. From here on out, it will be a challenge, but you guys are more than capable of kicking serious ass out there. The Wyld Ones will be unstoppable, so long as we have our relentless spear of the Wyld Ones. Frike, your attacks are quick, deadly, and swift. Keep honing and sharpening those fists, and you'll be able to bring the toughest foes to their knees. I have no doubt that your bravery will inspire the rest of the group. I'll try and get more stories from your brother. Maybe even get him to actually say hi to you next time. This is in all caps. Like, what the fuck is his deal? He said I'm not allowed to eat bread because it'll make me turn fat. All caps again. Bro, do you know how many calories I need to turn giant? I swear this guy is a killjoy, but your stories and tales exceed any that I could tell. You have such a magical way with words. Like, you're a writer? I told Phobos that one you told me about the vampires robbing a bank. He couldn't believe how amazing you were with words. His favorite character was Tobias, though. That character caught him off guard. Stick together, and I'll be back to keep you all safe. Your shield, Connell.
The crossover we thought we didn't need, eh? Or I thought I did. Well, I don't know. I can't speak English.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
So how in the moments that you have before the other two arrive, how do you react to reading all of that?
That did kind of get her a bit more centered, and at the same time, in the back of her mind, she's thinking about what she was trying to say in the shop there, which is, what do you do when you like someone, but you haven't really talked about it? And she'll look up to see if Wes and Rhódania have come out by now.
So around about this time, you hear the sound of the bell as the front door opens and two very flustered individuals come walking out.
The fresh air helped. And then she'll look at Wes and just, oh, I like the new look. You're muted.
If Rhódania had hair, she'd be twirling it right now.
Well, if we're going to be taking a big trip, I might as well dress the part. I don't know what your dad's got planned, but I do want to look a little more presentable. Not that he deserves it.
Come to think of it, I didn't really request an outfit good for winter weather.
Without thinking, I got the cardigan, didn't I? So
Maybe
If
I
you
could
want, I can
find a
make you
real
something.
code.
I can
Oh.
make you something if you like.
Oh, I would like that.
Yeah?
Thank you.
What color? Pink
Uh,
or black?
maroon?
Maroon. All right.
Yeah.
I'll have to check back at the house, unless it's gone missing.
If I was going to disappear the whole house, you would know.
Okay, just as long as
Why
my
would
yarn
you?
isn't gone.
You know, that's a good point. Why would I?
Mm-hmm.
Whose room needs to go away? Maybe I can set
Yours.
the next experiment there.
Don't take my room.
I mean, we can bunk up.
Maybe.
Oh, not you. I mean, yeah.
Around
No,
about-
I meant...
Around about this time, I'm gonna say that. In fact, let me roll for it. Okay, Frike. The sending stone that you have in your possession suddenly activates as one of the stones in your group has been activated as trying to get in touch with you directly. As you hear a voice speaking from it. So I don't know what we were drinking the other night, and I don't want to alarm you, but I woke up, left my room, went to go in the workshop, and there's no room. I mean, and that's where it cuts off because he hit his word limit.
Oh,
didn't we go over this
Brim.
last week? Because I remember me having a go at fucking Wes about.
I don't think it was
The
with
garden.
Brim, though.
No,
Brim
Brim-
wasn't awake. Yeah.
Brim
Oh,
was
Brim.
hungover.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brim.
He's only just woken up.
Oh, baby boy.
I'm doing the word counter.
I think when you respond back, you should be okay, right? Like when they send a sending stone, you can send as many words as you want.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm not overly fussed about counting it. It's just fun that he's not aware of the word count, so his messages get cut off.
Oh.
Okay, this is exactly 25. Sorry, Brim. It's kind of a long story, but we'll come back soon and let Wes tell that story. We were shopping. See you soon.
Okay, I think you get one final response, which is the small boy, eh? And that's it.
Oh no.
So, rest of the day ahead of you. What would you like to do?
I want to find magical stuff to protect me.
So,
Shiny.
Shiny and shit.
would you? So you would like to go visit the armorer from where Reese picked up his armor? Okay.
Yes,
We can
please.
absolutely do that. Let me bring that little.
And if we
table
happen to find any skips on the way, that would be cool. Like maybe there's one behind the armor.
So I think we established, was it last session or one of the last sessions, that there was one by the house.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
The only
can-
one in the city.
It's a big one. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this document that I have for when people are buying armor.
Cool. Du- 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 du.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, you wander back through, and eventually you find the Forge Works, which is this blacksmith that you had been to before, and As you walk in, there is the familiar sound of clanging metal and the smell of burning metal in the air. It's very hot and very humid. And you see a dwarf behind the counter. He's putting some stuff away. Big, frazzled, bushy beard, big bald patch on top of a long mane of hair, big bulbous nose. Hello, welcome. Welcome to Forge Works. You're looking for having something forged today?
Yeah, hopefully. Or just if you seem to have. Hi, I'm Rhódania, of the Wyld Ones, princess, all that stuff. I was wondering, do you have any farmers? Any armor?
No farmers, no.
Do you have any armor or enchanted clothing or something that's kind of enchanted, even if it's armor, that looks all like sparkly and shiny and pretty and fits me, please?
Oh, we got lots of armor. So, you want sparkly, pretty? I mean, my stuff's not pretty usually, but
Do you have anything with
mean-
stars engraved on it, maybe?
I can engrave some stars. That's a very simple process.
Well, okay then. Well, what kind of armor have you got, pal? I can't have anything too heavy and really small. So,
Well,
if
it
you can
depends. We have lots of different types. There's light armor, there's medium armor, there's heavy armor. It depends what your preference is. I mean, you're a wee lass, so I can't imagine you want something really heavy.
So, I mean, so ideally, maybe something light, because then I can wear something over it, or I can wear something under it, depending, you know. But also, I tend to change into a starry form. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's kind of like hard to come by. I'm kind of.
I have never heard
No.
of that in my life.
Well, I get all shiny and shit. And ideally, I need something that will mold to that form because I have like a super like costume change. If that's possible. What do you have? What armor do you have? That light armor.
Oh, we got lots of different kinds. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look at my list. So, you can have leather armor. There's padded armor. We've got more leather armor. But I mean, we have. It's not my specialty, but I could do you some. What's the best way to call this? We have cast-off armor, which is easier to put on and put off. We have got smoldering armor, which it's got a minor incantation on it where it looks like it's always smoking, so it's quite intimidating, something like that. We've got normal studded leather.
You got anything
or-
that's not leather?
Not light, no. You, if you're wanting more metallic options, you'd have to go for medium armor.
Okay. Well, what you got then, please?
Or for medium armor, we've got chainmail, we've got mithril armor, which is much more expensive. We've got serpent scale armor. We've got adamantine armor. We've got armor that gleams, so it's another minor incantation. It never gets dirty.
Gleam! Because that means it's like it's so sparkly, I'm guessing.
Well, it's very shiny, and it stays that way.
So this is my real happy as well.
Can I have the shiny armor, please? And can you engrave some stars on it, please?
Oh, absolutely. That'd be no problem. So there's different options. It's not a straightforward process. You could have a chain shirt of it. You could have scale mail. You could have a breastplate. You could have a half plate. They do go up in price, so what's your budget?
How much are they? Like a breastplate, how much is that?
A breastplate's 400 gold pieces.
Half plate?
Half
Can I
plate
pay
is
an increment?
750.
How about just the one breast?
Well, what good is having just one breast? Armored. What about the other one? Well, you could go for a chain shirt or scale mail. That's only 50.
Shiny.
Can't your audio cut out?
Most of your audio cut out there.
I want it smooth and shiny.
Well, you can have smooth and shiny. I mean, if you go for the scale mail, for example, because it's all scales, the shine glitters. It's like it's covered in glitter from a distance. Sort of.
Not exactly what I wanted,
Kind of.
but we're really selling it, pal.
I'm good at making
anyway-
stuff. That's
Is there
that's
any
my.
way? Is there any way that we can I could exchange services for the more pricey armor? Or I'm a wild one. I'm royalty. I'm good for it. I can sponsor your shop. I'm Rhódania of the Wild Brew.
We've been looking for places to invest in. Perhaps we could invest in your shop a bit
And quite
more.
frankly, after the brilliant work that you did for our friend Big Cat, I mean, we were really turned on by the craftsmanship, and we just wanted to, support a local business.
right.
Keep in mind,
look, if talking about being turned on, you want to go over to Taylor's. That's more his area of expertise.
I know we've
oh
been
no,
there.
that already happened. Just
Yeah.
to the everything that already happened.
Oh, you poor tragic souls.
I know, right? Traumatized.
Look, now we don't come here in light conversation. We do mean to invest. As part of the city that we help to save, we also want to help invest in its recovery. And we believe that, by the way, I don't know if you realize, this is Miss Frike. She was the one who killed Deborah. I don't know if you were there during the
Fucking
tournament, big hero. I don't know if you know. Anyway, we would love very much to provide a little investment back into your blacksmithing workshop. It would help to have a little bit of a discount for my friend Rhódania here.
You know what we could do? My colleague and I, we not only make wild brew, well, I make the wild brew, but we are currently in an experimental phase of potentially infusing wild brew particular items. Like, imagine if you had your wonderful armor and it was infused with wild brew. Like, if someone attacked you, a wild magic surge happens and they turn into an apple. That's you defeated your enemy in one big fight.
Crunch, crunch.
I don't want any wild magic anywhere near my wares. I had one experience. Wait a minute. What did you say the name of that beverage was?
Brew.
Make a deception check.
Can we give her the help action because we've been trying to pitch? We've been delivering our elevator pitch.
Is there any way we can give advantage?
No.
Ah.
Well, I rolled a 4. So,
Ooh.
do with that as you may.
So you're the one who made the wild magic drink.
Can we kill any rats in your basement? In return, have you got any molds you want us to
I,
prestidigitate?
we worked for a barter system, and to be fair, we have changed since the early days of our adventuring. I don't know if you've heard our reputation, but we've gotten stronger and more reliable. Definitely.
Good people.
And to be quite frank, we could get even stronger with some of your armaments. I mean,
And then people can be like,
Rhódania.
"Oh my god, you look
Where
so
did you get
shiny and
that?
shit.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?" Well, I got it in this wonderful. Sorry, what's the name of your establishment?
The Forge Works.
Oh, I got it from the Forge Works. It's a wonderful.
Sundenarg.
In Zindenarg. It's a wonderful establishment. Go there, tell your friends. I endorse this shiny shit. You can see I'm really good at marketing.
Right. How about this?
Oh dear. Oh no.
Because that wild drink, whatever it's called, that caused me a lot of trouble in my old shop. Someone brought it in, spilled it all over some of my wares. There was a massive explosion. People were turned into sheep. It was
Well-
chaos.
Well,
And
we do
they
in
never let me back in the city of Ethereon after that. I had to come out to the sticks out here.
Well, we make things that don't have magic. We make mild brew, and we're thinking of. I mean, I haven't discussed this with Wes yet. We're thinking of making an energy drink of it, and it could be something you can give to adventurers.
Rhódania. Shh.
What?
It's kind of peace. I just realized this is the guy at the sheep incident in Irathond, the one I was telling you guys about when I first met you.
Oh.
Oh. Crap.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting a discount.
Still can't afford anything really nice.
Any issues with bad things? Can we help with that? We're poor.
I'll tell you what. I doubt
Wait,
it'll happen.
Didn't you give armor free to Reese? What about us?
Free.
Because he was very nice.
I'm very nice.
And he paid for it, actually.
Oh.
Quite handsome, I
Yeah.
must say.
I know he's
I'll-
handsome, isn't he?
I'll do you a solid, as the kids say. And I'll give you some of that shiny armor that you want. But you're going to do something for me in return.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My assistant went missing a couple days ago.
Mhm.
At first, I assumed that he had just upped and left. Oh look, we're being raided now. Red Robin Kaz. Hello, welcome to the channel. Thanks for
Right in
joining
time
us.
for the negotiations.
Yes. Just as the group are in a very difficult conversation with
Dragon's Den.
some...
Please help us. We're poor.
Yes. So, he's been missing for a few days. I assumed he just skipped town or he got drunk and I don't know.
Mhm.
Ended up on the wrong end of some sort of assassin blade or something in the night. I don't know. But then yesterday morning, I had a knock at my door, and when I opened the door, there was a package on my doorstep, and I opened it up, and would you believe it? It was a hand in a box, and it belonged to him.
Oh no, that's gross. Which hand
Well,
was it?
His left hand. Does that
Oh,
make a
God,
difference?
Well, was he left-handed or right-handed? Because if he's left-handed and they send a ransom letter or a letter from him and it was his left hand, that means it's definitely not him that wrote the letter.
It's more that he was ambidextrous. He was shit with both hands, really. That's why he was an assistant. But
Fair enough.
there's been a lot of these thefts recently because he is an Earth Genasi. I don't know if you've ever met an Earth Genasi before.
Yeah, we have. He's our friend. Yeah,
What,
we have an
my
Earth
assistant's
Genasi
your friend?
No.
No. One of the Wyld Ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's currently on a sabbatical, so
well, he wants to be careful he doesn't get his limbs stolen.
Sir, what was your friend's name? Come to think of it, what's your name?
My name is Meram. Meram. And my assistant's name was Dorky. Dorki.
what a great name.
I'm not his fucking parents.
Okay, we
God.
we can investigate his disappearance.
Yeah, you find him, you bring him back to me, and you solve that mysterious mystery that's been plaguing the town for years, and then maybe I'll give you some shiny armor.
Could I possibly have the armor first? It might help us on our quest.
No.
See how squishy I am.
No.
I can leave a deposit.
Do you do payment plans?
Yeah. You got a tab? Fine, we'll find your friend.
Is there anything else I can help you with? Looking to the others.
A pin badge.
I would like to peruse your weapons, if I may.
Sure. What kind of weapons would you be interested in?
Well, I've primarily been fighting with a battle axe, and it's pretty vicious, but I'm interested to see if there are different types of axes, or perhaps a short sword that could also have some unique properties that might help me in battle.
Okay, let me just take a quick look. He sort of runs down one of the aisles to where all the battle axes are kept. And bear with me while I look some options up for you. Okay. definitely not that one.
Aw.
Wait, what? What was that last?
Frank, he's gonna be a hard customer, but I think we can get a discount on the weapon at least.
I can certainly try.
Okay, tell me what you need me to do, and we'll get you that discount.
She might still be a little frazzled from this morning, but she just kind of thinks about it for a minute and nods, and yeah, I think we got it.
You got it. We're gonna use your reputation. You were the one who struck the killing blow on Deborah. So.
Well, reputation is one word for it.
Exactly. So, who's to say he can't be the armorer who provided the greatest warrior in Zundanark with the greatest weapon in his armory? The legacy would be incredible. He would be renowned across Rhódania, across that Demethrin continent, everywhere. No, of the great Frike, slayer of Deborah, with the mightiest battle axe in the land, all because of him.
It just doesn't sound very mighty when you say Deborah.
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 It sounds like dead bra.
Oh, bra's gonna be thrown out eventually, not that I would know.
She'll like do one of those like shoulder adjustments, like maybe she needs another bra. Listen, I'll
the last place.
I might have an idea, but I'll have to see because he doesn't seem very receptive to us so far.
Yeah, I think we're batting 0 for 1. I'll just follow your lead. If you need me, I'm gonna be looking around like I actually know what I'm doing.
I don't know. Do you have any pheromones?
I think we can get them the last place.
Damn it, I'm an artificer, not a potion maker.
I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I don't know. I thought it might help.
I mean, the best I could do is I could make some pretty flowers to give to him if you want.
I don't know. Maybe you could put one in my hair. I've been told it looks cute.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna druid craft a night orchid and just put it into your hair.
Okay.
There you go. Just
I don't know. Maybe I'm too tall to pull this off. But I could certainly try.
try and fluff your hair a bit. And
She
cut it.
And
I did, but it's still fluffy. She'll like fluff her hair a
I've
little.
seen people blinking their eyes really quickly, and that kind of helps.
It'll probably look like a moth wing fluttering on her, but
Okay, so after a few minutes, he comes back with one short sword. Right, a lot of the axes we've got at the minute are fairly sort of standard, and look, judging by the one on your back there, not as good as the one that you've got. It's pretty nice, actually. Like, I wouldn't mind one like that myself, but I do have one. It's quite pricey, but it's particularly good. It's, well, let's just say, I might be able to show you. Fuego! Flames just lick up this blade.
oh,
Basically, when you have this sword, you embed a word of power into it. A word of your choice. And when it does this.
Can I choose the word, Frank?
is it gonna be shit kind?
Well, that or mommy. So
Sword.
hey, Dobby?
I can't. Oh
Sorry,
my god.
I'm feeling particularly chaotic tonight. Apologies.
I'm
just excited to be here.
She'll just do one of those, like, when the sword flames, she'll just go, oh, hot, isn't it?
That's the idea.
And how much were you thinking?
Well, typically these will sell for 2,000 gold pieces. So, it's quite an enchantment.
Really, I had a hairball.
But, you could potentially maybe get a discount if you help out on that thing that I mentioned to her.
Okay, she will hold out her battle axe and just go, what if we were to propose a trade if you held on to my axe as collateral while we were out investigating Dorky's disappearance, and then if we return, and so this way it would give me an opportunity to field test this weapon, and potentially people could see me fighting with it and wonder, oh, where did you get that weapon? And I'll tell him, well, my good friend Marum over at Forgeworks crafted such a fine blade, and when we find out what happened to Dorky, we could just either trade back, or if we do a great job, then perhaps I could hold on to the weapon.
Oh, I don't know, Frank. I mean, he didn't want to do that with my armor. I mean, is he really that generous?
It just looks.
she'll-
It just looks at Frog and then points at Fronia. Does she speak for you?
Not always, but we're we're friends, so we.
Rhódania Day.
Okay. She'll like toss her hair a little bit, shampoo commercial full effect, and not always, but the Wyld Ones believe in a spirit of togetherness, working together for the good of the people, especially the people of Zendenarg.
The greater good.
Great.
Well, I'm sure that would touch my heart if I were from Zundanarg, but I'm not. So, look, let's cut to the chase here. You propose a potential trade. I would happily take your battle axe off your hands. And I would say for the sword as a trade, 500 gold.
She's just going to give the sword back and hang on to her battle axe. You drive a hard bargain, Marim, but we'll, grinding her teeth a little bit, we'll look for your friend.
Good luck with that one.
Or we can take our services elsewhere.
Let's get out of here. Grinding her teeth.
Okay. One by one, you leave the shop back into the streets of Zundanarg.
Is there like a Poundland version of like a armorer?
Help us, Patch, we're poor.
I gave you a side quest.
Like, I thought I had
We'll
money.
do the quest, but like,
Side
I
quest
mean,
doesn't fucking pay.
it doesn't
I am
pay.
side quest.
Oh dear. As you contemplate
We
your
don't
next...
want this. I was gonna say we don't want this to be the side quest that John gave us and we ended up dying.
Oh, don't give me ideas. As the Wyld Ones contemplate their next move, we're going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break. So, do stick around, my good friends, and we'll see you shortly.
I'm poor.
We're so poor.
This is day 474. Dr. Samuel Carver recording, as always. As of this day, we are officially on our own. Communication has been reduced to local transmissions within a mile of base camp. Word has not yet reached our ears of any potential rescue, even less word of a cure. Hope continues to dwindle. It's strange to think back to the days before, watching America consume itself on the news and thinking, it'll never reach here. How wrong we were. Our supplies will probably last us another week at best. But with the long nights of winter on the horizon, the danger escalates further. If you were to ask me my honest opinion, we have 72 hours at best. So, if you're hearing this message, then rescue has arrived all too late for us. But, to the few who remain, Against all odds, I wish you luck. And remember, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. The world has changed. The coming of calamity and those who rose up against it. Victory was gained, but at a cost. The lone swordsman lays dormant. The country without rule. A people fractured under the anxiety of what is yet to come. But within these fractured lands is something thought lost to time, but not lost, merely patiently waiting. And now, with no champions left standing, there will be no will other than mine. Renounce your petty gods and worship me, for I am Majora. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? And welcome back, dear friends, to Rhódania Chronicles right here on QuestJunkies. We return to the Wyld Ones as they have just left a very tense diplomatic discussion with the owner of the Forge Works. Didn't entirely go to plan, but nevertheless, they look out onto the remainder of the afternoon on this day in Zundanag. What would you like to do?
You know, it's been a minute since, I mean, I know we just revisited Madeline and everything, but we haven't seen Thrasham in a while.
I know personally, I'm pretty anxious to get back to the house, and it's not like, you know, I know it's like split the party and stuff, but I think Rhódania is going to go back to the house.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do. At least
Wes?
check up on Reese anyway, because he's probably like, what the fuck's going on?
Not to mention you got the call
Well-
from Brim.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
True. We should go see Brim.
I mean, yeah. Can we just make one more quick stop?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could go with you if you want, Wes.
Oh, it'll be just a few minutes. If you want to come with me, sure. You'll get to see a little bit of me that no one else has seen.
Okay. Sure.
Be quick, I promise.
All right. Let's go.
Patch, I want to hit a toy store.
Okay. Easy enough.
We don't.
Make me a quick investigation check.
Ooh, we like those. Oh, we really like those. That's an 18.
18. Okie dokie. Let's have a look. Here. I have a thing somewhere for toy stores. I'm just trying to relocate it.
I think I'm still going to head back to the house as eager as Rhódania would be to find out. Aside, there's an air of mystery. Yeah, I'm still gonna head back to the house.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, I'll see you in a wee bit. Enjoy your mysterious adventure.
Tell Brim we
Goodbye,
said
Miss
hi.
Smith.
Well, I'll check
Just
up
tell
on
Brim
you.
we said hi.
I will.
Okay. Sorry, it's taken me a minute to bring this up. It's something I had from campaign 1. So I gotta dig
Wow.
deep. There's a thing about a toy shop.
So I think as
It's
you're
gonna
looking
be
it
like
up-
in Home Alone, like a big ass toy store, like that.
Oh, FAO Schwartz? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Reich, I think as soon as Bronya leaves, I don't even really talk about this with Connell, but you guys mentioned Madeline Crowley, and I've been a huge fan. So what I want to do is I want to get a Skycarver model of her ship, build it for her, and
Oh.
make it to her specifications. She's going to be taking care of us, so I want to take care of her. And it's kind of a hobby of mine to build Skycarver models, so I really just want to make something that she'll like. She's taking care of us, and we're huge fans, and you more so. But it'll be great to get something for her.
Okay. I think she'll like pause a minute. Like, I think she would appreciate a gesture like that. Although she doesn't like it when you're too formal with her, I've noticed, or at least that's what she told me the other day. Because I know I tend to be polite to new people, but she said I should try to let go of that a little bit.
Well, what better way to start than gifts among friends, right?
Sure, yeah.
Maybe I can put a little you and a little Madeline on the front of it too, right at the bow side.
Yeah.
Like Titanic.
God damn it.
I'm flying,
Shut up, fanfic brain.
So, I actually had a bit of a better idea for this. You wander around, and eventually you do find a toy shop. A big, colourful sign adorning the top of the doorway as it says, Bees, Bits and Bobs. Which is a name that you've heard before. A name that you actually heard called out in the tournament. As a sponsor. And sure enough, as you walk through the doors, the bell rings. You're instantly greeted by the very warm presence of Beatrix, the gnomish artificer companion of Chiyoko from the tournament, as previously portrayed by GTG Vicky on Phoenix Iwaki. Hello, welcome friends, I'm Beatrix, this is Bees, Bits and Bobs. How can I help you today? You see the big goggles and the big bright blue pigtails, and the full artificer garb, with the long leather cape and bits and bobs everywhere, and just this manic presence of happiness and politeness.
You were in Chiyoko's corner, weren't you?
I thought I recognized you. Oh, hello, friends. Oh, that was quite a tournament, wasn't it? Oh, it was so exciting. But, is your friend okay?
Which one? I think we're all okay.
The one that was fighting in the tournament.
We think so. He's off doing hero's work right now.
Oh, that's great. Yes, Io is still recovering. He's in a bit of a spot, really. But we're hopeful. Hopefully he'll be fine.
They didn't hurt his pretty face, did they?
I'm afraid they hurt a lot more than that.
We took care of the person that was responsible per
Yes,
their
yes.
injuries.
We saw and we're very relieved. Thank you for that. But the and she gets a little uncomfortable. Like the clerics that us seeing to Ayo, they're not 100% sure he'll pull through. Even now, weeks later, it's still up in the air. Someone's got to run the shop, so I'm here. Anyway, enough of all that. How can I help you today?
This is going to be a weird request. I'm not sure how long you've had the shop here for, Beatrix. But are you up to date with most of the Skycarver models?
What's a skycarver?
Kind of like a floating ship. A famous captain's in town. I don't know if you've heard of Madeline Crowley. She has the most famous Skycarver in Rhódania.
Oh, wow. I haven't been in town very long, so the shop's still quite new. I mean, I know of ships that can fly, but I haven't seen any while I've been here. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that. I've never seen any.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Nope.
What'd you roll?
13.
13. She rolled a 10. Interesting choice of words about not being in Rhódania long.
I think there's a knowing nod, thinking back to the reconvergence. No worries, we'll certainly get you acclimated then while you're here. And, once Io pulls through and Chiyoko beats up Connell again, this place will be prim and proper. So, okay, well, do you have any Skycarver models, any airship models, anything?
No. The only I haven't seen ships that fly for quite a long time, and when I did, they were in a very different place. They were, well, have you ever heard of the Astral Sea?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was great. I met another friend out there, Bastia, who'd been out there for 8 years. I didn't even think people could. And it was like a galleon. It wasn't like a flying ship like a Skycarver, but it was like one of those old-time maritime ships.
Oh,
Anyway, I was there. It was really pretty.
That's like what we had, but it was a bit different. They called it. What did they call it? It was a spell jammer. That's what they called it, and it had a great big lovely tree growing out of it. Who was really pleasant, and he was very nice. And we had this goopy man called Glabagool, and he was wonderful. And it was such fun.
Poor my. Poor my.
Oh,
Well, that was
so much.
That was a while ago now. And then of course we had the Concord Jewel, which is what we had before. Which that's not much like a ship. That's just like a big crystal that flies. But sorry, no, I haven't seen a Skycarver before.
You may want to reconsider the branding on that spelljammer. I don't think it'll catch on. Anyway, well, certainly might be able to hook you up. I'll contact my sister before I make my next big venture, and she might be able to help you guys get off the ground.
Oh, that's very kind. Sorry. What's your name?
Wes.
It's a pleasure, Wes. And she gets a little nervous and cheeks blush ever so slightly. It's like, not often I meet some of my kin, especially in the same line of work. It's quite nice.
Well, you'll find there's a lot of kin like you who are in the same type of work. we like to have fun with it. I'll have to give you a tour of my village one day.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I think you'll like it. While I have you, you at least have a deck of cards, don't you?
I'm sure I have some somewhere. Let me go have a look. She starts rifling through various different things. A few things come flying out, like a set of pan flutes and some pens, and there's like a whole dragon chess set comes flying past you. Sorry, 1 second.
Oh.
And then eventually comes back. He's like, set of playing cards. Yes, it was the third drawer on the left. I kept forgetting. There it is.
You know what? This'll be perfect. How much?
1 silver? I just keep them for the kids, so I don't really sell them, but
Well, he'll pull out a gold coin, take her hand, and just clasp it. Tell you what, that'll get you started. I know it's a little excessive for a deck of cards, but you know, our group has been trying to get a couple of local businesses off the ground, and you know, we'd really love to help you and Chiyoko and Ayo get started with, you know, really putting your names out there in Zundanark. And I can tell you for a fact that if you were to be the sole proprietor of all toys for Miss Frike, the conqueror of Deborah, the greatest warrior in Zundanark, you might get a lot more clientele.
I love you.
you say that out loud?
I'm not there. I'm
No,
going back
she's
to the
not there.
house.
Say it out
I
loud.
know. Well, it's awfully generous of you. Okay, cool. Let's do this.
That's the enthusiasm. And just before we go, I'll make sure I give you the best voice acting gig you've ever had to promote your services.
Voice acting? That sounds like a mysterious art of the arcane.
Oh, it is. Very mysterious. Only the greatest mages in all of Rhódania can pull it off, but luckily, you just so happen to have two of the best right here.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, we would be happy to support your establishment.
Well,
And discounts for Miss Frike whenever she happily comes to support you again. After all, for the greatest warrior in Zundanark, how could you not provide a discount?
well, forget all that. You're friends, so I always look after my friends.
I'm looking forward to seeing any more of the kind of toys that you have.
Amazing. Looking forward to it.
And I think before we head out, we'll record a little message using the... What's the freaking thing? I always forget with artificers. With the magical tinkering infusion, which is like a tiny little thing, give her a quick 6-second advertisement. I'm Westerly Strider of Poppycock's Precarious Playthings, and this is my favorite toy store in Zundanark. We'll hand the recording over that she can use.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know exactly what I'm going to do there. Thank you so much.
And I think you good, Frank? We got a discount. Friends and family.
Well, it begs the question. question in this establishment, just what kind of toys are for sale?
I thought you'd never ask.
Holy shit, guys.
So, for sale in this lovely, innocent little establishment, there are dice sets, chess sets, some basic musical instruments, some playing cards. There are little figurines.
I think I love
There's-
you.
There's a little thing called a TPK, which is exclusive to this campaign. That's on special offer right now.
For those watching the VOD, Bridget
Don't
is
toy
written in
shame.
chat saying, I can afford a dildo, but not a sword, Frank, probably.
Oh boy, that's going in the next outtakes reel.
Don't toy shame also.
But she continues. We have some jacket boxes. We have. There's some tabletop games like Settlers of Faerun.
Ooh.
One called Jumanji, which I've been told not to sell. There's something apparently wrong with that. I need to investigate that. We have
Oh.
some marbles. We have some
Monopoly.
fireworks. We have some wooden swords and wooden shields so that the kids can play pretend.
What about the Settlers of Faerun? How much do you want for that?
That we retail for about 4 silver.
Okay, I'll try it.
Okay, fantastic.
Let's see.
This is when you convert your gold into silver, isn't it, Bridget?
Well, D&D Beyond does that for you.
Ah.
Thanks, D&D Beyond.
You're great. What is going on tonight?
Welcome to Quest Junkies, where the
Oh.
thirst levels are always maximum.
Thank you. I'm really happy with my purchase today.
I'm so glad to hear that.
All right.
You good, Frank?
Yeah, we're good. Let's go home.
Okay. As you leave the toy shop, we smash cut over to Rhódania, who arrives back home before the rest of the group. Rhódania, over to you.
Who's in the? Well, I know as soon as we get in, you can see the kitchen and living room space.
Mhm.
Who's there at the moment? Is it vacant or?
So the two moms are there. You can see that Connell's mum is having a nap, and Rhódania's mum is doing a bit of knitting as you come in. Reese and Brim not there.
Okay.
It's just me. The others are still out.
Oh, hello, dear.
Sorry about the lack thereof, lower bit of building. I'm sure you know some good, whatchamacallits, construction people. Do you know anyone, Mum?
Well, I don't know many. I'm still new here, but yeah, Connell's mum, Fiat, she's got a handle on it. She's spoken to a guy who's going to come out and assess it. I'm not really sure how much it's going to cost, but it'll be fine. We'll sort it out. I wasn't particularly bothered because it's not my house, but I think.
Safety of your baby, though.
Well, I knew you weren't there.
Ew. Okay,
And
well,
besides, you've proven a lot recently that you can absolutely handle yourself, my princess.
mm. So what have you been up to today?
Well, and she holds up this massive long shawl that she's been knitting. So I started here, and now I'm here. I done this much in a couple of hours. I'm getting the hang of it.
Oh, wow, good on you. Well done.
I know it's you know, I used to do more crochet than anything, but it's nice to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm learning some crochet at the moment.
And she kind of goes into her bag and pulls out.
I'm currently working on a wild brew holder. This is what I've been working on. It's really
I
done.
love
So I can
it.
put my brew in there.
Love the
You know?
colour as well. It really brings
Yeah.
out your calico pattern as well.
Thank you. Not Reese. Wes helped me a wee bit with the colouring, and we found some
Hey.
good mixtures for the
Seems
yarn.
like a nice lad, that Wes.
Yes, Mum. He's lovely. It's
Hmm.
a bit rough around the edges sometimes, but he's nice.
Well, aren't we all?
Bit. I don't know what you've got planned, but I just need to quickly check something in my room. Okay?
Okie dokie, dear. You let me know when you want a brew.
I will, Mum. Also, let me know. I'm going to be growing some more of the moon lotus because, we lost a couple of them in the nursery in the workshop. I'm going to start growing them outside, but if you ever want any sort of like moon lotus infused yarn for your knitting, let me know. You don't just use it for tea.
I never even thought of that idea.
Yeah. I was hoping to do something with this new cardigan I got,
And she kind of builds up the cardigan and said,
maybe add a little bit of moon lotus, like shiny shit bits on there.
Oh, you have to let me know where you got that. That sounds like my kind of shop.
If you're gonna go, I think you should take protection with you. And I mean, like someone who will protect you. Take Brim with you or something, because the owner of the establishment is a bit like, I think he's a bit raunchy.
Oh,
And you're a married woman. I mean, not that I say like, hey, you don't want to know what I've been doing, Mum, but
okay. Now,
Anyway.
now that you've said that, I kind of do and don't want to know.
I'm going upstairs now.
Okay.
and I imagine she has to tread very carefully on the stairs because, the workshop's missing underneath.
Yep.
It's quite rickety and everything now. Start making her way up, kind of. I imagine as well as she's passing Connell's mum on the sofa having a nap, she puts a blanket on her, goes up the stairs, and she completely walks past her own room and makes her way round the corner, down the corridor to the back of the house opposite Frike's room, and unlocks Connell's door and goes in and locks it
Okay.
behind her. At that point, this is when I have to open this. She is going to sit on the bed and carefully open the parchment with the letter, and I'm a bit nervous reading this myself, and read the letter that Connell gave her.
Okay.
And I'm going to do this in Rhódania's voice because I imagine that's because she'd be reading it in her head.
So
So
we're reading it out loud.
no, like in her head she's reading it rather than out loud. She doesn't. Yeah.
Rhódania, I'm going away for another while, little cat. It sucks. You got a better grasp on this than the others, I feel. I'm fighting a good fight where I am. I'm making a difference here. I can feel it. While I'm away, getting stronger, I must request that you all get stronger too. We will have a difficult time going against the odds. From here on out, it will be a challenge, but you guys are more than capable of dazzling the masses. The Wyld Ones will be unstoppable so long as we have our fiery heart of the Wyld Ones. Rhódania, you have built up so much confidence in yourself. You don't shy away from jumping into the fray anymore. You've embraced your power and use it to knock the stars from anyone in your path. Try to lead the others. We may be apart now, and things are a little difficult. But I'm really excited for us to have a little bit of quieter time together again. Like, since we have a house, we could maybe have a farm. And she just kind of stops and just like, okay. You can plant crops and take care of livestock. Maybe use some of your new inventor skills to the test and build some stuff to keep the crops watered. As for me, I'll do all the heavy work at the mines, fighting monsters and collecting materials. Since I've made of rocks, I know which ones to collect, after all. We need a good name, though. Definitely nothing about sex or bad words like fuck. We want to make a profit, right? Or we could pretend we're pirates and play all sorts of games. Like, we could play fighting games together. We could go on adventures, fight different kinds of monsters. Hell, we could even pretend we're playing a make-believe game where we could be anything. Stick together and I'll be back to keep you all safe. Your shield, Connell. And with that. Oh, that hit Myra as well. Oh, so many meta references. She's gonna just not ball it up, but kind of like have the paper just kind of crunch her in her paws, and just gonna have it against her face like this and just start crying. And yes, see, it is a reference. She's like, okay, no, I've got to stay strong for Connell. And before she gets up and leaves the room, she's going to put the letter in a box under the bed, push it away, and just double check that the room is still the way it was, that it's still perfect with the banner and everything up, and that it's just ready for when he comes back. And as she leaves, she locks the door, gently touches her hand on the door, and I mean, if you may, I don't know if I could do this as like for like the future for whenever he is there, but I like the idea that she can cast guidance on the door, so ready for whenever he touches it, and it's only for him. It gives him the guidance he needs. I know mechanically it'd mean that I'd have to hold concentration until he comes back, but
Yeah, but it's cool, so
like
I'll allow it.
okay. And yeah, so I'm just gonna walk away from the door and then head downstairs. Just chill out with the mammies for a while. Mum, I think I'm ready for that brew now. Please.
Just holds up a cup. I thought you might be. Prepared it straight away.
I really miss him, Mum.
I know. And her tail comes up and wraps around your shoulder. Just pulls you in for a hug. I know, pet. I know.
And I've really missed you, and I've missed Burry, and of course I've missed Dad. But they're my family, these guys.
You know, it goes without saying, I've missed you all these years, these long years. Fiercely. But you make a very excellent point, because family is never just blood. Family is what you choose it to be. And think you've made such a terrific family while you've been here. And that's why it hurts, love. Because it's so strong. But all that means is that when he does come back, it's gonna be that much better.
I know. Maybe we can, I know that this is the Wyld Ones' home, but maybe we can make an extension. Maybe you can live here too, and we can call Buri, and then when Dad comes back, I haven't seen him yet. Do you know where he is?
I don't. Been trying to find everybody for years. Still working on it. And she slightly smiles. I suppose one room has just opened up, so maybe we could.
Bono's room.
No, the workshop, dear.
Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah, we can renovate. I mean, in that case, we would need to have maybe a workshop outside then for Wes
Maybe
and I. And
slightly further away from the house. An outbuilding.
okay.
Just in case.
I can have my flower boxes back, and I can make some. Well,
And then she kind of thinks back to the letter that Connell left her.
maybe we can have a farm and some livestock. I can grow some things.
That sounds wonderful. And when you go off to save the world and all the chaos that you guys keep doing, I can watch it for you.
I trust you.
She pauses on that comment specifically and seems a bit taken back. You don't know just how much it means to hear that after all these years, Veronia. You do prefer being called Veronia, don't you? Like,
You can call me Flora, Mum.
I know I can, but you decide your name. I don't want you to be beholden by the past. Flora was supposed to be this great princess, of course, but if you don't want to be that, then you could be Veronia. The wild brew extravaganza that you are. It's your choice, dear. I'll happily go with whatever you decide.
I know it's greedy, but can I have both?
It might be a bit of a tongue twister, but sure. We can figure that out.
Even if I'm just like Princess Veronia that adventures?
I quite like it.
I could be a work from home remote princess, maybe. I can work
I mean, that's
princess
the dream,
from
isn't it?
anywhere.
That's the
Oh, I
dream.
know. Oh. I want a princess from everywhere. Yeah.
Well, whatever you decide to do, your mommy's got your back.
Love you, Mommy.
You too, Pat. You too.
We still need to have that sit down and tell me where the fuck you've been all these years, by the way.
Oh, I've been prepping myself for that. Don't you worry. We will.
I know.
It's a lot.
Well, I mean, I think Buri at least deserves to have a, to know. I can send him a little letter. If you want. Let him know
You
where
let-
you are.
You let me handle Birdie.
Okay. Sounds like a plan, ma'am.
That's my girl. She wraps the tail in closer so you're nuzzled right in and you can just hear the faintest purr.
Oh, that's so nice.
As around about this time, the front door opens and Frike and Wes step into the scene.
As always, Rhódania's going to blush as soon as she sees Wes and tries to cover it from Mammy.
Actually,
She gives you a second glance and a slight smile.
I think, Frank, I would have told you, but I'll be home a little later, so you'll be the only one to come home.
Oh.
Oh.
He's going to the strip clubs, I knew it.
It's going to blow up another workshop.
The strip club's called the workshop.
Yep.
Jesus.
So
Frank,
you
tell us-
blush when Frike walks in, because obviously.
Mommy.
Oh god. Okay, then Frike is feeling a little restless, so I'm assuming there's like a window with a seat in it.
Like a bay
Sure.
window.
It's your
Yeah.
house. It'll
It'll
be
be
however
like-
you want.
It'd be like sofa, kitchen,
Sofa, kitchen, patio doors, bay window. No, wait, that's where the
Amazing.
stairs are. Bay window by the kitchen. That's what I would say. There you go.
I think there'll be a bay. There might also be a bay window in Frike's room, so she'll just say, "I'm gonna head upstairs for a little bit, but I'll see you later." To Rhódania and nodding to her mom.
Let us know if you need anything, even if it's a cuppa or something, alright?
Absolutely, I will. And she does head upstairs, but I think she's going to sit in the bay window and look out in the view of the street. Then she'll look up toward the sky. She's going to use her breath to fog up the glass of the window and write a message in common. She's going to write, "Are you watching closely?"
A few elongated, awkward moments of silence pass as the condensation slowly clears from the window pane. Another moment passes. No response.
Chill. Thinking about it. She's gonna do it again. Fog up the glass. And with a determined look in her eye, she's going to write in the condensation. Where others failed, I will succeed.
Go ahead and make me a fate roll.
I'm gonna use Digi.
DC 60.
Oof.
24.
24. It feels like it takes even longer for the condensation to clear this time, as you're anticipating some sort of response, yearning for a response. And eventually, the condensation clears. And there is no response.
Let me see. Just made an unarmed strike roll. It was a 10 to attack. She's going to bang her fist against the glass.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
The glass shatters.
Come on, DDB. It's 5.
5. The glass doesn't completely shatter, but it does bow under your hand, and the glass spiders with cracks right up. It's quite a tall window pane, but it goes right the way up across. Rhódania, you and your mum would have heard this sound from upstairs. What was that?
She's having a hard time, I think. Came from upstairs.
Oh, Pat.
I think it's best we leave her. I mean, I don't want to feel like she's being mollycoddled.
No.
When she needs us, she'll come to us.
I hope so, dear. I hope so.
However, I think a cup of tea is in order. For her.
I mean, when is it not? Come on,
I
let's go make a pot.
I think a chai or mild brew. What do you think?
Oh, get out of my brain. I was just thinking the same thing.
Great minds think alike.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's go help our girl out.
Yeah. So you head into the kitchen. Our view pulls through the window out into the streets. Wes, where do we find you?
Scaling a building, believe it or not. So I think Wes
Spider-Man?
would have cast. Effectively, yeah. I think Wes would have cast Spider Crawl, and walked up to the highest point in Zundanarg, where he and Connell watched fireworks after the festival, after the whole tournament and his success. He has a stale gravy ring that he split down the middle. Puts a napkin for one side to Connell, and the other one for him. Bigger piece this time. And as he watches the sunset, he goes to pull the letter out from Connell. Kind of inspects it. Doesn't look at the words, doesn't look at anything, just keeps it folded. Looks at his name on the paper. And puts it back in his coat pocket. If you had anything to say to me, you would have told me to my face. So you can tell me all that when you get back. And I think for a couple of minutes, he kind of just watches the sunset.
Okay.
I have to keep that promise to you. And we'll end with him jumping off the building and casting Featherfall.
I'm glad you said casting Featherfall, because that would have been a very abrupt ending.
Yep.
Okay. Eventually, as the night draws in, slowly reunited back at the house. Anything before you all retire to bed?
I think, Frike would have come out of her room probably as Rhódania and her mom are making tea, and she would have sat at the table. And as they all sat down to a cup of tea, she'd say in a single opening, it's an opening statement, a way of telling her story. I don't remember what it feels like to have a mom. And she would tell her story of everything that's happened so far with her family. How she doesn't know what happened to her mother or her sister, and how her brother is shutting her out, and how her father is supposed to be pure evil, but I think she would admit to Rhódania, I know he's not a good person, but all this time, I just want to know why. And she'd end her tale with, and I'm afraid I might never get the answer.
Well, sometimes we don't get answers for the things we want to know. And I think you can't get any love from narcissists or horrible people like that. And you're better off. I know it might get a bit confusing, but if my mammy's happy with it, I'm happy to share. She can be your mammy. We're all family after all. And what was it you were saying earlier, Mum? That, sometimes family isn't always blood.
It's
I know how
precisely
hard it
what I
can
was
be.
saying.
Yeah. Chosen family is usually the better family after all. But yeah, the more we
Frank.
think...
Please go on.
Nah, it's alright. I was just gonna say, the more we think about people like that, the more power they get.
Frank, dear. I can't change your past or your experiences. And I want you to know what it feels like to have a mum and to have that support. And there's very little that he can do. But if you'll allow me to try, I want to try and help.
And I think she wouldn't really know what else to say, but she would lean forward on the table and reach out her hand.
She stands up, walks around the table, kneels down next to you, and puts her arm out. Come here.
She'll hug you.
And she just pulls you in and wraps you up in the warmest, softest, most empathetic hug. And she just holds you for as long as you need.
And I think she'd start to cry in earnest.
And when you
If you
do,
thought my
she
hugs
hugs
were
tighter.
good, if you thought my hugs were good, hers are better.
I think she'll take a step and back and feel definitely revitalized in that moment. And
Yeah.
the show you're making. When you're done with it, by chance, would you be able to make something for Frike here?
It's already on the list, dear.
Oh, good. And, speak to me when you're about halfway done.
I will do.
Okay. They should
I
be ready
think-
by then.
a couple of tears still streaming down her face, she would pick up Rhódania for one of those full-bodied hugs.
Oh. Purring. Just purring. Really deep purrs. With a little bit of a trill behind it. You know those ones.
Love you,
And
Frike.
go,
I love you.
I love you too.
Nuzzle.
So, unless there's anything else, eventually you will find your way to your beds to sleep. On a night of mixed emotions and feelings and experiences. Still feeling the absence of one of your group, but hopefully at least with a resounding resolve rekindled after the conversations and the reading of the letters that some of you have done. We will bring the session to a close here. And Frike, at this moment in time, can you give me a fate roll? The DC is 75.
Oh, that music.
Here's my. Oh, forget it. Digidice. $97.
Holy shit balls.
97. I was hoping.
I was
hoping.
So was I.
I know we don't have any D100s or anything in the chat, but let's spam those 20s, man. At least. Or muffins.
So with a 97, we're not quite done yet. As sleep does come to all of you, Frike, your dreams are visited. But not by the person you expect. You find yourself standing in a room where the walls are made of mirrors, encapsulating you. You look around and you see so many different reflections of yourself looking back at you. You look around and there's no entrance, no exit. You're not sure how you came into this place. And then all of a sudden, you hear, it startles you a little bit, the caw of a raven and the unfurling of wings. You turn around, and in the center of the room, a familiar figure. The matron of ravens. The Raven Queen, if you will. Stands there, hands placed together, adorning the detailless, empty porcelain white mask. Child of Shadow. I see that your calls beyond were not answered. Your resolve is strong, I commend you. The threads of destiny pull ever tighter. It takes great skill to tug back. And somehow, you tugged back. I feel that you may hold a stronger position in the events that are to come. I wish to give you some insight. Not because it is deserved, not because you have earned it, but, well, consider me curious. And she moves to the side and extends her arm, and there is a floating silver sphere about as big as a beach ball. And it looks to be almost liquid. It's like a floating sphere of... The closest thing you could liken it to is Malexor, which is the particular ingredient that infuses wild brew. Do you wish to see, child?
Yes.
And once you have seen, you will act upon it, no matter the cost, no matter the risk, nor reward. You will do what must be done.
Yes.
She extends a hand out to you, and even though she's about 10-15 feet away, your perspective goes a bit strange as it reaches out and grabs your hand. And she pulls you slowly over towards this sphere. Look into the sphere, Frike, daughter of Shadow. You will find the knowledge you seek.
She'll, does she let go of her hand?
She holds onto your hand.
She'll, maybe give her hand a squeeze and, look into it.
As you look into it, you feel a compulsion to get closer to it. and closer, like it's pulling you in. Like it wants you to press your face into it. Do you allow it to happen, or do you resist?
She'll allow it.
Okay. As you do, you feel the matron squeeze your hand back. A warm hand, not what you expected. As your face makes contact with the sphere, it's like a shroud covering the face of the world is pulled to the side as you now peer through the veil. And your vision finds you elsewhere. Your consciousness is bereft of your body, but you now exist in this space upon a tall mountain, which you absolutely recognize by the surrounding area as your father's domain of dread. A peak that looks across the whole world. And your attention follows a figure walking, slightly labored, hooded, but the gusts of strong wind, one powerful gust blows past and pulls the hood away as you see your father heading up this mountain. You feel your consciousness willed forward to follow. He doesn't seem to be aware of your presence here. But you follow him for a few moments, and eventually a small structure comes into view. Your father walks inside, you follow through, and it goes down some steps that seem to go on for quite some time. He lights a torch and heads down. Eventually, it opens up into a large cavern. And at the center of this cavern, there is a pedestal. This pedestal has a central platform which holds a large bowl with some clear liquid in it. There are two bits on the side that seem to hold something. One is missing, whatever it needs. The other holds a necklace with inset rubies. Looks very similar to one you've seen before. The other platform looks as if it holds something very similar, if not the same. Potentially an identical one. As your father walks up to the platform, he stops and he kneels down as the liquid begins to lift out of this bowl, slowly rise into the air and then fall back down, just gently hovering above the ground in front of him, and begins to take a humanoid shape. Still remains just like liquid, but you see it moves in a janky way. And you hear your father speak. My lord, everything is going to schedule. It won't be long now. We will have recovered that which was taken. I ask what you need of me next. And then you hear a new voice, one you've not heard before, emanating from this mysterious figure of liquid. Time and time again, you tell me that you have everything under control. And yet time and time again, I see the truth behind the curtains. Tell me the truth. O Dark Lord of Shadowfell, you have no idea what the fuck you are doing, do you? It's not like that, sire. There's complications. I will see to them. I will end them. Complications, you say? Like that son of yours, perhaps? What do you mean? Favos is a loyal servant. I think that you and I have a different definition of loyal servant. Of course, he is harboring an individual that could be of great threat to our cause. And you have not even noticed. I grow bored of your efforts. Give me one reason to keep you alive, and make it a good one. I am growing impatient. And Fryk's father looks up now and from your vision you see a look of terror. This is a face you have not seen on your father before, a look of terror. No, please, I can fix it. Anything you need, I can fix it. I will burn the worlds for our cause. You know this. I have sworn to you. Tell me what I need to swear on and I will give you it. I gave you everything. I will give more. Really? What more can the man who has apparently already given everything give to me? See, you don't even know. You are pathetic. But fortunately for you, I cannot yet attain the correct form in this material plane, however wish you want to call it. Until then, you will find a way to be useful. Because if you do not, you will wish for death 1,000 times over. Now, what are you going to deal with first? Your insolent son? Or that daughter of yours that is watching you right now? as Frike's father turns and looks around, does not see you in the space that you are in. What? This figure of liquid throws its hand up, and Frike's father is teleported away. The figure approaches you in the space that you stand, and you feel a figure walk from behind you as the matron of ravens stands at your side. You have no authority being here. You will leave at once and you will not return. The figure laughs. Oh, how brave and bold and wonderful, goddess of death. It is bold of you to assume that death can stop someone who claimed dominion over it. You may hold this title now, but I created death. It will forever be at my mercy. So you can choose your little heroes as much as you wish. You can point them to their next destinations. Give them so many boons and task them with my upheaval and demise. If that makes your last moments of existence feel like they mean something, be my guest. The Raven Queen just says nothing but puts an arm out in front of your consciousness. Would you like to do anything? Say anything?
What kind of question is that? Give me a minute.
It's all good. Shout out to Pat, who's in the chat and has just realised that he's missed a lot. Yes, please, please catch up when it's not live.
Okay. In my head, every time she's tried to ask a villain a question, they've never given her a straight answer. I think as much as she resents being referred to as a child of the shadow, I don't know who you are, what reign of terror you seek to bring about. But I will make it my mission to find out.
Fascinating. I look forward to seeing the depths of your capabilities. I particularly look forward to you finding out the truth that has been kept from you your entire life.
was gonna say something and then I saw C in chat. Oh, damn it. Okay. Worry? No, scratch that. It's not a question of my capabilities. It's a question of what it will feel like one day for you to lose.
I am the being who created the very definition of what it is to lose. You may call her your Raven Queen, but there is only one God of Death, and no rite of ascension can replace the true God of Death. She is merely a usurper, as the rest of our brethren have proven themselves to be. I think that when the time comes... In fact, I'm going to let you proceed. I'm going to let you continue on. I want you to be at your most powerful. Because only then, when you are at your most powerful, and I destroy all of you, you will feel the true burden of loss. And you can take pride in the fact that it takes the God of Death to bring that to you.
As this information rolls through her consciousness, she's going to not today.
I look forward to meeting you in person. The question is, will I let you reunite with your friend? Or perhaps I'll keep him here with me. I haven't decided yet. Now go back to your usurper queen, to your friends. Make your plans, go on your quests. And when you are ready to die, you can come find me. Or maybe I'll find you first. And as for you, points at the Raven Queen, I am going to save you to last. I want the very last existent thing to be you, as I eliminate every trace of being from this world and every other, till the only two things left are you and I, so that I can truly show you the depths of the void. And as Vaughn just disapparates into water and just crashes on the floor.
Not today.
Raven Queen turns around, looks at you. Not today. And you find yourself slipping back into your dreams, away from this space, bringing an end to today's session. Sorry, I went on a bit late there, guys. That was a big roll, so it needed the appropriate response. A massive thank you to my wonderful players for quite an eventful session. It had many things.
Shopping, thirst, and lore drops.
I mean, pretty much. So, let us turn this music down. Let's quickly go around the table. Friends, please reintroduce yourself, plug anything you got to plug, give us your favorite moment from the session before we go a raiding. Starting with Rhódania.
Hello, I'm Mai, aka Myrit the Pirate. You can find me here on social media as Myrit the Pirate, on Twitch, because I've come back to that now after a few months hiatus. Making my way back to YouTube as well. You can also find me here on Wednesday nights as Jimothy Brassfangs III, the Not So Eloquent College of Eloquence, Kitsune, Bard, Rogue, and tonight I played Rhódania, the Circle of Stars, Feelies, Druid, Artificer. Yeah, we're not doing favorite moments anymore, are we? I forget, I've phased out.
We did favorite moments.
Oh, are we still doing it? Cool. Favorite moment? As much as I feel the ick with Asterion, I loved the whole moment. It just that whole thirst. Just the thirst. It was just, especially considering I've been playing so much Baldur's Gate recently, I'm just like, heh, heh, heh.
I mean, it wasn't going to be Astarion, but like you made the comment, and I was like, oh, it can't not be now.
But most of all, probably Wes's kind of like interaction in the whole shop. I don't know how to make of this. Oh dear. But yeah, the whole Taylor's Taylor. Loved it.
It was good. It was good fun. Let's jump down the overlay to. Oh no, across the overlay. In fact, no, down the overlay. I didn't realize you were gone there. Bridget.
I'm back. Where do I start? Hi guys, I've been Frank, the Way of the Long Death Shutterkai monk, edgy mom friend. That was the original title, fun fact. You can, when I'm not getting, bombastic lore drops, apparently, on Monday nights, I'm getting scared over on Friday nights, where I'm playing in Stradalicious with Patch here as, the two similarly named mommies, and trying to save the day in Barovia. And when I'm not on stream, I'm usually behind the scenes, either lore keeping or writing fanciful fics. Definitely a lot more material after today's session, so stay tuned on that front.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
My favorite moment is that I nearly transcribed every word of that post-credits scene. Because I was pretty much enthralled from start to finish, and I have so many questions now, and yeah, Bree said something in chat that gives me even more questions too, so...
Interesting?
Because Bree had a theory.
Oh, please share me your theory, Bree, and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. Is it Monday yet?
Not quite, but it will be soon. Thanks so much. And Wes.
Friends, thank you for your patience as we return to our official shopping episode alongside the post-credits scene. Our technical difficulties have finally allowed us to perform both. I'm Mike, literally Grim in chat. If I'm not hanging out here, memeing in chat, Phoenix will be returning soon, so come check out QuestJunkiesUK if you haven't, and if you haven't, what the hell's wrong with you? There were quite a myriad of interesting options to choose for tonight, but I do think that Merrim's very stubborn negotiating tactics against Frike and Rhódania proved to be the only shopkeeper all night who gave us issues. And if that's the BBEG of tonight's shopping episode, then what a hell of a way for Frike to not get a sword and for Rhódania not to get armor. Unbelievable.
Like Tom Nook.
Like Tom Nook.
Rhódania.
I mean, Tom Nook is the BBEG of every Animal Crossing game.
So true.
I have
Yep.
toyed with the idea of a one-shot where you play as Animal Crossing characters and you have to raid Tom Nook's
Sign me
lair
up.
because he is an ancient like dragon.
Pre-sign.
And yeah.
You had me at I.
Thank you so much. And I am Patch, your ever humble dungeon master. I have played everybody else, including the mysterious person at the end who sounds a lot like what's his name? Ricardo Montalban. Khan from Star Trek. Which, fun fact, that was the inspiration for the voice. I had to force myself to not go, he tasks me. He tasks me and I shall have him. But yes, exactly. Yes, so Patch, QuestJunkies, this is my humble abode. You can find us every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday at the same time slot, 9 p.m. British Summer Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe. It's all going to change because clock's changing again. It's coming up at some point. I hate when it does because it's pointless. But yes, Mondays, the Rhódania Chronicles. Wednesday, the Wyld Chronicles. Stradalicious Fridays, as the aforementioned. And favorite moment. Kind of want to say canonizing Astarion being pulled into the world thanks to the Great Reconvergence. I mean, it's fun. But I think I can't not say that the favorite moment was the rolling the 97 for that post-credit scene. Because if you were going to fail that, you would have still got the post-credit scene, but you would not have gotten that much. And you might not have had the Raven Queen there with you. So it could have gone very differently. So pull back to that quote from the Raven Queen about tugging back at the threads of destiny.
Sorry, I'm being a pervert.
It's alright, you carry on.
What, Duggan?
You tug as much as you want. So, we're going to finish up here and we're going to go raiding. We're going to go visit our friends over at D & Denial who are just starting up. So, let's go show them some love. Odd love to you at home, and we will next see you on the shores of Wildmount, the Wildmount Chronicles on Wednesday. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Ah, man.
Bye.
Love you.